Hello student, myself Nimesh Prabhakar. Welcome to Antenna and Propagation lecture series. In my previous lecture, I complete chapter number 4 as per the GTU syllabus. Look, in that chapter we discuss about the array antenna. Now, in this lecture, we start new chapter. In this chapter, we discuss about the loop antenna. And now, in this lecture, we discuss first about what is loop antenna, and then we discuss about the fill pattern of small loop antenna. So, in this lecture, we discuss about these two topics. So, now we start the first one. What is loop antenna? A loop antenna is nothing but the radiation coil of any shape with one or more turn carrying a RF current. The loop antenna may assume any one shape as shown in this figure. That means loop antenna is in the square shape, rectangular shape, then rhombic shape, then triangular shape and circular shape. So these are the different shapes of the loop antenna. Generally, loop antenna is formed on the ferrite core or the air core. Now we discuss about the fill pattern of small loop antenna. So here in the figure, consider a circular loop of radius r. That means the radius r is very small compared with the wavelength lambda, such that the current is in phase throughout the loop. It is represented in this figure. So here we can see this is a circular loop. Now consider the circular loop is represented by the square loop of dimension d cross d. That means the side dimension is d and this is also d, the square loop, such that the area of both loops is same. Consider that the square loop is located at the center of the coordinate system. So here in this figure we can see the circular loop is represented at the center of the coordinate system. The far field of the square loop will have only E phi component. To obtain the far field pattern, instead of considering all 4 short dipoles, it is sufficient to consider only 2 short dipoles such as side 1, 4 and 2, 3. So here instead of we considering the 4 side, that means here 1, 2, 3, 4 side, we consider only 2 side. First one is the 1, 4 side and the second one is the 2, 3 side. The radiation pattern of this short dipole in the horizontal and vertical plane are as shown in the figure. So here we can see this is the radiation pattern due to this 2 dipole is in the vertical plane and this is the radiation pattern in the horizontal plane. Now, from the radiation pattern, we can say that the dipole 1, 4 and 2, 3 are behaving like isotropic point source in YZ plane, as both are radiating uniformly in all the directions as shown in the figure. Now, the far field radiation due to the 2-point source with a reference to the center O can be represented as, that means the far field we can represent as E phi due to this 2-point source is E phi, that means total far field is equals to field component due to, that means E field component due to the dipole 1, 4 and the field component due to the dipole 2 and dipole 2, 3. Now from figure it is clear that the wave radiate from dipole 1, 4 will take more time to reach for the point P as compared to the wave radiate from the dipole 2, 3. So here we can see in the figure the dipole 1, 4, that means the wave is radiate from the dipole 1, 4 take more time due to the path difference as compared to the dipole 2, 3. So hence the path difference from the point source from the point L to M we can write as path difference is equal to d cos 90 minus theta as we write in the array chapter. So the path difference we can write as a d cos 90 minus theta. Now the path difference in terms of the wavelength can be expressed as, now we express the path difference in the terms of the wavelength. So we can write the path difference equals to d cos 90 minus theta upon lambda. So the path difference is so we can write the phase angle as a psi is equals to 2 pi into path difference. So now we get the phase angle psi is equals to 2 pi by lambda into d cos 90 minus theta. But we know that cos 90 minus theta is nothing but the sin theta. So we get finally the path difference, we get the phase angle is a 2 pi by 2 pi by lambda into d sin theta. Now in general, the field component for the any dipole is given by field component is equals to magnitude into e raised to phase angle. So this is the general equation for the field component of the dipole, that means the magnitude multiplied by the e raised to j phase angle. So let E0 be the magnitude of the electric field due to the dipole 1, 4 and 2, 3. Then the field component due to the dipole 1, 4 is given as E phi 1 is equals to minus E0 e raised to j psi by 2. Similarly, we can write the field component due to the dipole 2, 3 is given by E phi 2 is equals to plus E0 e raised to minus j psi by 2. So we can write the E phi, that means total is nothing but the E phi 1 plus E phi 2. So E phi, we have the value of the E phi 1 and E phi 2. So we can write the E phi total field as minus E0 e raised to j psi by 2 plus E0 e raised to minus j psi by 2. Now we have take here the minus E0 common from this equation. So we can write in the bracket e raised to j psi by 2 minus e raised to minus j psi by 2. Now we multiply and divide by the 2j. So we get this equation like minus 2j E0 in the bracket e raised to j psi by 2 minus e raised to minus j psi by 2 upon 2j. But by the trigonometric identity, we know that the e raised to minus j theta minus e raised to j theta upon 2j is nothing but the sin theta. We use this trigonometry in the array chapter. So hence we can write the E phi is equals to minus 2j E0 sin psi by 2. So by using this trigonometry, we get this equation, where here the psi indicate the phase angle, and we know that the value of the psi is equals to 2 pi by lambda d sin theta. So now we know that the phase shift is given by beta is equals to 2 pi by lambda, and the phase angle expression can be modified as psi is equals to beta d sin theta, because here the 2 pi by lambda is nothing but the beta. So here in the phase angle equation we have write the beta instead of the 2 pi by lambda. So finally we get the phase angle is equals to beta d sin theta. Substituting the value of phase angle in equation number 4, we get, so here we substitute the value of the phase angle. So finally we get E phi is equals to minus 2j E0 sin beta d sin theta by 2, and the unit is V by M, that is volt per meter. From the above equation, the other field component can be given as following relationship in the free space, like we know that the relation between the E field and H field is nothing but E phi upon H theta is equals to eta 0, and for the free space the value of the eta 0 is the 120 pi. So we can write the H theta is equals to E phi by eta 0, and we have the value of the E phi. So we just by putting the value of the E phi, we get the value of the H theta is equals to minus J2 120 pi E0 sine beta d sine theta by 2. Now we solve this equation or simplify this equation. So we get H theta is equals to minus J E phi upon 60 pi minus sine beta d sine theta by 2, and the unit is A by m. The magnitude of the individual field component is given by, so we can write the magnitude of the E component is J 60 pi IL sine 90 upon R lambda. So we can write the magnitude as a J 60 pi IL upon R lambda. As the angle theta is 90 degree is considered because the field strength is measured from the x-axis rather than from the z-axis. So here we consider the angle theta is equals to 90 degree. Also in the equation number 6, if the length of the side of the square is very less than the wavelength, then the trigonometric property sine beta d sine theta by 2 is nothing but the beta d sine theta by 2. So in equation number 6, if we consider the length of the side, that means the square side is very less than as compared to the wavelength, that means L is very greater than the lambda. So we can write the sine beta d sine theta by 2 is equals to beta d sine theta by 2. Hence, using this concept, the equation number 10 can be written by putting the value of E from the equation number 8. We get E phi is equals to minus 2j j 60 pi IL upon R lambda beta d sine theta by 2. So now we simplify this equation. So we have just put the value of the beta, and we know the beta is equals to 2 pi by lambda. So the 60 pi IL upon R lambda and 2 pi by lambda instead of the beta we have put, and d sine theta, and the 2 is the cut. So we get the finally the E phi is equals to 120 pi square AI sine theta R into lambda square. Here this A is indicate the area of the square loop. So instead of the d square, we have write the A, and I is indicate the retarded current, and H theta we have known that the value is the pi A I sine theta R lambda square. So here this is the E component and the H component. So in this lecture we discuss about what is the loop antenna, like we have seen the introduction of the loop antenna. And then we discuss about the field pattern of the small loop antenna. So in this lecture, we have discussed these two components. Thank you.